you want to say, well, these farmers are being attacked, and you identify farmers as being white people, then you want to deny it. And then you want to say, no, there's nothing to see here. Why?
Why black people were discriminated as a race. It was a conscious decision to discriminate black people as a race. And in dealing with that violent, racist attack on black people, you have to classify them as black people because they were discriminated as a race. In this context, my lord, farmers and white people are not being killed for race purposes. They are being killed because crime is out of hand in South Africa. And to even equate that to the segregation of black people as a race, to what I'm talking about, that there is no program, there is no conscious decision taken anyway that farmers and white people must be killed. There is just general problem of crime, there's a problem of murder, and it's increasing, and police are failing to handle it.
I'd like to refer you then to the evidence of Mr. Ross. You could turn to page 202 of the bundle, page 164 of the book. I don't know if you'll copy of it and give it.
Of? No, my lord, I can't read Ruth's book. I refuse.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I'm not going to be used, my lord, to promote Ruth's book. Ruth came here to promote his book. And
okay, Mr. Malema, I think let's do it this way. Let Mr. Oppenheimer read to you what he says, and you can then respond.
Yes, I'm giving you the opportunity to have the book in front of you.
I don't want it.
Then I'll read it to you, and then you're not being present.
Okay.
So what page are you at?
Page 164 of the book. The heading there is murdering farmers. There have also been many cases where white farmers in particular were murdered, and where their attackers openly acknowledged that they had committed murder and was that in their intention. Other than that, many cases of farm attacks during which the attackers chanted political slogans or made racist or political statements towards their victims in court. In April 2010, Leon Kookaboy, aged 39, was attacked on his farm near Cullinan in Gauteng. The attackers screamed the words, "Die, white man, die, Viva MALEMA," as they were attacking Cookings. In June 2014, Knowledge Paulus and Blazi, 28, admitted to murdering 5 white farmers in 3 months between March and June 2014. Quotes, "My hate for white people made me do it," he said. He described his conduct as, quotes, "going to work," and boasted in the courtroom about the fact that he had 6 murders under his belt. Quotes, "They also had money which he wanted," the judge said, once again proving that a murderer can have a racist motive as well as a simultaneous motive to commit a robbery, disproving the notion that a farm attack can only have a single motivation, as was assumed by the Committee of Inquiry into Farm Attacks of 2003. Now, Mr. Malema, I'm giving you 2 instances where a white person is killed, and from the words that they've said, it's clear that there is a racist intent. It's not ordinary crime. The person is killed because they are white. How do you deny it?
Well, your code.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. Kasibu.
Again, Your Lordship, we're dealing with a lay witness here, and evidently hasn't read the book. Now, if the proposition is put as fact, then the fact must have, the authority for that must accompany it. The text that's been read by my learned friend here, it says by Mr. Watson, that's the footnote. It says personal interview with Piwe Nyan. No article, no report, no judgment. So it must be clear.
So where are you looking at?
My apologies, Your Lordship. So if you go to this account,
Page 164.
Page 164, footnote 46. Footnote 46 appears on page 365.
Yes, I found that.
Now, that footnote is reference to the text that was read by my learned friend earlier. And then one would have expected you find a news article of a sort, you find a court judgment or anything of the sort. But all it says is personal interview with Piwenyan. Now, other than that being hearsay for one, the second issue is it must not be put as fact. It must rather be referenced as such. Mr. Rhodes had a personal interview with this guy. This is his version. Give a response to it.
Yes, Mr. Oppenheimer?
Well, what I'm putting to the witness is that this is in testimony that Mr. Lewis gave. It's in the books. An argument can be dealt with as to the underlying sources of that material. And I'm putting two cases.
But you're putting those cases as factual incidences that has occurred.
Yes.
And I to pick this one up during Mr. Roth's testimony that in fact 46, footnote 46 relates to an interview with a person. I think what the objection is, or the point that's been made, let it be put to the witness in its true nature that there is something written in the book that relates to incidences in 2010 and 2014, and those incidences, the source thereof comes from Mr. Nyanda.
Now, what my agenda refers me to an article in the Lunch Boer on 12 April 2010, which is passed on by Screen MALEMA.
What page?
That's at page 367 of the book. Yeah.
But does that relate to the portion you are reading to the witness? Because from what I've seen, the portion which has been footnoted, it's footnote 64.
Well, yeah, to the fifth of the
I didn't see any other footnote, and that's what I was looking at, in fact.
yeah, for the fifth of the correct footnote, they're both titled 46.
Okay.
So it's the correct footnote from what I understand is on page 367, so it's that 46, not the 46 that's on page 365.
46 on 360?
So 365 has a footnote 46,
Yes.
which refers to the person's interview. 367 is a 46, which I gather is the correct footnote to reference that incident, which is in one lamper that says Glass of Austria, different limits. So in other words, it does refer to the newspaper article. It's dated 12 April 2010. So that's the correct footnote. So my friend is correct to point out this column in the footnote everything. It's not the person who's the correct reference is in fact this newspaper article.
Yes. Just take me back to the portion in the book which started the debate.
So my lord, it's, in other words, the portion that is stated, the first portion is in April 2010.
No, I've lost the page number now again. What's
It's 164.
164? Thank you.
So, in other words, 164, I refer to a particular incident. And then I'll correct the other footnote. In other words, the incident is footnote 46 and footnote 47.
I think in the interest of time, Mr. Oppenheimer, let's look at the objection that's been raised. The objection is put to the witness what is stated in the book and the source of that which is stated in the book. Because if you state it, when any ordinary reading of this portion, well, I'm not sure whether, because some of us would come with the baggage of being lawyers, you immediately ask yourself, was this in a court? Is this a case that's reported? You see the point I'm making? So if the witness is not aware, he's now going to have to answer unaware as to whether this report, what its source is, in other words. So if you could indicate that this is the source, he'll be able to deal with it in terms of what the source of that information is.
I'm going to read those extracts and then point to the underlying sources. So the first instance says, in April 2010, Leon Cook, age 39, was attacked on a spawn near Carnival Cartoon. The attackers screamed the words, "Die, white man, die," moving the lanterns. They were attacking people. The source for that is landbo.com, 12 April 2010, last on file is Screen MALEMA. The second one is in June 2014, Knowledge, Powers and Plaza, 28, admitted to murdering 5 white farmers in 3 months between March and June 2014. Quote, my hate for white people made me do anything. He described his conduct as merely going to work, and boasted in the courtroom about the fact that he had 6 murders under his belt. They also had money which he wanted, the judge said, once again proving the murderer could have a racist motive, as well as a simultaneous motive to commit robbery and proving notion that a farm attacker can only have a single motivation, as was assumed by the community of inquiring into farm attacks. Now, 47, which is that the judge said, that references an IML article, in the line, 24th June 2016, the article was entitled, My Hate for White People Made Me Do It. Now, he stated earlier that there are no murders of white people. What you say you mean by that, they are just murders. Now, I've given you 2 examples where the contention is that these are racially motivated.
No, but Mr. Okanoma, it's unfair to say to the witness, you said they are just murders. He said there are no farm murders, but there are murders in the country. Because the use of the word just into what he said, it seems to me to, looking for a better word, almost diminishing the importance of the other murders. I didn't hear him to be saying, I'm diminishing all the other murders. He said there are generally murders in the country. In fact, he says this country is a crime scene.
Yes.
Yes, so I think put it
clearly then. But first of all, is it your contention that there's a murder problem? Is it your contention that there's a problem with murder?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I've given evidence, well, I'm giving you 2 examples of cases that were of people that were murdered with racial motives on the ground because they were white. Do you accept that it could be a reason to murder someone through racial hatred because someone was white?
You see, one, the book you are reading from is badly written and is not peer-reviewed, and therefore cannot be used as an authority. 2, in the same book, the discredited book that uses this court to sell itself, said, I've got a Facebook page where I wrote things on my Facebook. But you said you read to me a book. Am I answering that book? Yes. So you bring a book here that is so discredited and written by a non-thinker, and you want me to engage with a person with a brain the size of a peanut. I cannot do that. There is no problem of white people being killed. There's no problem of farmers being killed, my lord. Because if you want to use that in comparison with black people during apartheid, it was a system desire to kill our people. The wars of dispossession, the 1976 June 16 uprising, the riots of the 80s, the system attacked our people and killed them. Now, in this case, there is no system that said, we now are going to kill white people.
Well, Mr. Malema, can I just interrupt you? I think let's focus on the question so that we can finish.
Yes.
I really want to finish this matter by the end of this week, because I've got other commitments that I've got to take on next week. And if this end up in a reserve judgment, the reserve apartheid it's something that I would hate to do. I don't like partheads. I think the question that maybe if you permit me, Mr. Oppenheimer, Mr. Malema, I think the proposition or the points made to you is that we hear your point about the status of the book. We've noted that. But the point that's been put to you is that in this book, it has been reported that in April 2010, Mr. Kukemur, who, when you read from the book, it suggests that he was a farmer. On June 2014, Knowledge Paulos Mdanzi admitted having murdered a white farmer. So that's the question that now is being asked to you in the context of you having said there are no white farmers being killed. What's your response to that?
That's supposed to be a decision by the system that we're going to kill white farmers. There is no any establishment that has taken a conscious decision to engage on the killing of white farmers. There will be individuals informed by acts of criminality who engage in those types of activities. And therefore, it cannot be generalized, my lord, to a point where the UN must be addressed that there is a problem of murdering white farmers in South Africa, as if there was an institutional decision to do so.
Yes, Mr. Penham.
Let me ask you a simple question. It seems like you can have institutional discrimination and you can have individual act of discrimination. Is that correct?
No, it's an individual act of criminality.
Can an individual have a racist intent and act out?
Absolutely, like the one who wrote the book.
Now, is it the case that your denial is a very broad denial? There are no white people being killed. You now want to say, well, what I mean by that is there's no gigantic system in place which calls for orchestrated killing of white people. You know, that's not what you said in your speech. You used very short language there to deny. In other words, it's the kind of move that Holocaust deniers make. They say, no, I would say there was no Holocaust. When you ask me about it, what I'm going to do is say, well, maybe the numbers are different. You know, I'm going to moderate it. I'm going to do a Martin Bailey measure where I say the outrageous thing. And then when under pressure, I sort of pull it back. That's what you're doing, really.
I never said, no, there's murder. No, I never said that.
Yes, Mr.
Again, Your Lordship, we revert you to this idea of distortion. This question was put to the witness earlier. His response was, you play a short clip which does not give a context. You play what you want to play, and you cannot allow the video to run so that we have full context. Because the witness says, immediately after saying what you are quoting, I qualified that by saying there's a general criminal problem of murders in general. So the idea that there's no farm murders and there's no white murders is that you seek to isolate out of what is a general problem, which is of murder. And that's the context the witness gave. To now suggest that all he said was that is misleading.
Well, then, that speech was shown in court, 20-minute speech. The salient portion of it for our purposes is that Mr. Malema issues two denials. So one is he says there are no farm murders and no white people are being murdered. In court, he then says, I'm going to gloss that, I'm going to downplay it, I'm going to say something different. And my point is that's not what you said to the crowd. So you get to have your cake and eat it. You get to say the outrageous things to the crowd, and then in front of these cameras in front of the schools, you can present yourself as someone moderate. And that will gain you to act.
I never said I'm someone moderate. I'm very radical and very militant, and I make no apology about that. And I stand by everything I said. My Lord, let them play you the whole video. I said, and I remember it very well, there is no farm murder. There are no white people being murdered in South Africa. There is a crisis of murder in South Africa. And this thing of elevating the killing of white people as if it's more important than other people who are being killed in the township, it's wrong. Let them play the whole video. And not even the whole video. Just from where they cut it, I take it further there. Because if you check where they cut it, it's not thank you. So he wants to create an impression that I say something else outside and something else. I'm saying the same thing consistently from when I was in Congress of South African Students. Everything I say, I said it when I was still young. And I keep on repeating it, the strategic objective of the revolution. So never create any doubt that I will come here and change. No, play the whole video. You will hear me saying that South Africa has got a problem of murder.
Now, you're playing the game here, where you want to say this is elevating the murder of white people to some higher status. But actually what it is that you're doing is downplaying it by saying, well, other people are murdered in other areas. We shouldn't pay even particular attention to this.
I'm not downplaying it. Murder is murder. It knows no color. And therefore, all of murder cases must be dealt with as such, whether white or black. That's what your client is seeking to do, to elevate and create an unnecessary panic. My Lord, this is how the AfriForum exists. It creates the state of panic amongst the white minorities, and then say we're taking these people head on, donate money. And that's how they make their money. They create unnecessary panic amongst white people. So if you take that clip like that, and then you circulate it amongst your constituency and say this is what we want to stop, please donate money. Then they make money like that. They make money out of scaring the white minority, even on matters that are simply explained. This video is an example of such. It can't be played, all of it, because it defeats your racist agenda.
We have played it.
Where we show that in South Africa, you know, the women and the children, the numbers are way bigger than the numbers you are talking about.
We're backing and forthing on this issue. His version is that the video has been played in full, including what it says immediate after where he suggests it's been cut.
But Mr. Kasiboto, the issue of the video seems to like an aside issue. The witness has said, I've said what I've said in the video, I said it previously and I'll say it again.
No, but the point is this, Your Lordship. He's saying, immediately after the video, he qualified what is being attributed to him. And he's saying the video does not show that part. Mr. Oppenheimer, the suggestion is this: play the video up until the point the witness suggests he qualified the statement, so that there's full context of what he's saying. It's prejudicial to the witness to say, you said there's no farm murders, there's no white murders. That creates an impression. His suggestion is to keep playing